the fire department has now had to give us these masks to help us breathe because the air around us is just so bad. If you look over here, you can see that the fire is nowhere near under control. Wood and debris are scattered all over the field, but what's really stopping people driving by is seeing what 85-mile-an-hour winds can do to a plane like this. While the results won't be released until later this month, Lairda says that many North Dakotans have been pretty honest about paying for their tea. And of course, with such a high jackpot, everyone's rushing out to get their tickets and dreaming about what they're going to do if they win. While Jenkinson says it's highly unlikely that any state will successfully secede from the Union, he says it is the right of the people to do so. While they have been able to get inside to get some of their belongings, they aren't able to return home to stay. He says he feels fortunate that he lives downstairs where there wasn't as much damage, but up here on the third floor, residents weren't so lucky. You can see this person's kitchen is completely caved in. The issue has been debated all session, and supporters continue to stress that the legislation could offer some protection to the unborn, but some doctors are saying it could have consequences for the state. Across Killdeer, residents spent the day sorting through debris left over by the storm overnight.
It was pretty bad, a real strong wind, and I guess somebody had mentioned it was close to 90-mile-an-hour winds,
which caused several of his evergreen trees to topple over, blocking part of the road.
The city brought some of these their helpers here and dropped them off. They're helping us, so that's nice. They're cleaning up a little bit.
But it wasn't just the trees that were damaged in the storm. A nearby airport, which has been closed for about 10 years, took a big hit. Wood and debris are scattered all over the field, but what's really stopping people driving by is seeing what 85-mile-an-hour winds can do to a plane like this.
It looks like a little toy destroyed. But I came through this morning and there's 2 or 3 of them out here like this. And it's wild.
The planes are being stored in the hangar, which was nearly wiped away.
A lot of man hours went into taking care of this place, and it's kind of sad that it's gone.
Schulmeyer has been part of an effort started by his late father to restore the runway, and he says this won't put them behind.
There's nothing stopping us from getting the runway up and going. It's the hangar that was destroyed, but we've already got a nice grant from the State Aeronautics Commission, and Dunn County is helping us out with finances too. And we've got all the money in place. We just need the time to get it fixed.
But he says they do not have plans to fix the hangar, and seeing the damage done there makes Brown feel lucky he survived the storm in a tent.
Seeing the damage that it did and then seeing my tent and it survived, it's pretty amazing how something so little can survive and something so big gets tore all to pieces.
For NBC North Dakota News, I'm Jessica Roose. Gabrielle Giffords was treated to a warm reception at the Kroll's Diner in Mandan. The stop was one of several to promote gun control in states where senators voted against a bill to do just that back in April.
We're about 7 months away from what happened at Sandy Hook Elementary School, where 21st graders are murdered in their classroom. And to date, our national response to that tragedy has been to do nothing.
For the couple, the issue is a personal one. Back in January 2011, 6 people were killed and 13 others were injured, including Giffords, when a gunman opened fire at a shopping center in Tucson during a political rally.
I've seen great courage when my life was on the line. Now is the time to come together, to be responsible.
They believe responsible legislation would include addressing mental health issues and expanding background checks. Background checks are already required at gun stores like this, but Mark Kelly says he wants to extend that to online and gun shows.
It's a common sense thing to me that the rules in place in one place would be, uniform in every other place where a lot of guns are bought. 40% of guns are bought without background checks. It takes 5 minutes. It's a really easy procedure to complete, but it prevents criminals from getting guns.
But not everyone agrees, and they came to her appearance to voice their discontent.
Jared Lee Loeffler, the man who shot Gabrielle Giffords, had no criminal history, was never adjudicated mentally deficient, so he could have passed any background check that they want to expand right now, and it wouldn't have made one bit of difference.
We do feel a lot of sympathy for Gabby Gifford, the horrendous stuff that she's went through, but it's not the gun that did it. It's some psycho that our criminal justice system needs to take care of and not take our guns away.
Giffords also made an appearance in Fargo before heading to Ohio. Crowds lined the streets as specialist Tyler Orgard headed to his final resting place.
It's an honor to be here and pay tribute to him as he passes by.
He's one of our soldiers, and we need to show respect for him. He gave the ultimate sacrifice.
A sacrifice that won't soon be forgotten. Beauregard received traditional military honors at the Veterans Cemetery, complete with a 21-gun salute. An emotional moment for those who loved him and served with him as he fulfilled a lifelong dream.
He wanted to be a soldier since he was 7 years old. In fact, that came up in the service when he told his mom that that's what he wanted to be when he grew up. Tyler was all about being a soldier.
Beauregard was serving his first mission when he was killed. He had just finished basic training 4 months before deploying in April.
We ask a lot of these young men and women, and I just couldn't be prouder of everyone in the North Dakota National Guard. Our force has all signed up or decided to stay since 9/11/2001, knowing that they would have to someday go serve their country. That's the kind of young man Tyler was. He was going to do his duty. He did his duty, and he died for all of us.